Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Baltimore, the manure chant.
And of course, they want the pass interference call, but to me, I saw Forrest head on the ball, two guys fighting for the football.
So here's your game. 4th and goal from the 4. Fake toss to the end zone, and it is juggled. Did he catch it? No, he did not. Incomplete. Mooney, for the moment, looked like he might have it. Does not. You got St. Juice covering on the play. Officials going over it.
How I think he called it a catch, but not in.
Catch short of the goal line.
Yep.
The runner ball
Catch, but short of the goal line by inches. Mooney goes up. Ooh, boy. When does he have control of it?
Yeah, the ball goes up in the air. If he would have had it
bobbled, and by the time he gets control, he's back outside the goal line. St. Juice covering on the play. So if he holds on to it there, he's across the goal line. He's in. But he doesn't. He gets control outside of the goal line. You can't be any closer than that.
Yeah, and I'm really curious, and it doesn't matter, but the left elbow comes down out of bounds right there. And it's irrelevant. And Fields put it where if Mooney holds on to the ball, it's a catch. And he bobbles it.
Yep. Could have been out of bounds before even.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your host, Nathan Snow, Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. I hope you're all having a terrific Wednesday. Hope the day is going well for you. Hope you're all staying safe. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I'd like to say up front. The Maryland Terrapins video that will that'll go live tonight, or will be recorded. That will go up by tomorrow. I will also have a special guest on the podcast, but that episode will be recorded. We will be talking a little baseball as the baseball playoffs are moving right along kind of smoothly. The NBA opening night occurred yesterday, and I'll have that up in a little while, hopefully by tomorrow at the latest, particularly with the Washington Wizards. In this video, we are recapping the Washington Commanders beating the Chicago Bears, which did not really feel like a true win. It was barely enough to keep our season alive, and was a very, very, I will say, low-scoring game. I predicted that we were going to at least score 30 or more points, and that didn't happen. The final score, the Washington Commanders beat the Chicago Bears 12-7. This didn't really truly feel like a win if you just look at the box score. But when it counted, Washington did show up as a team. We did show up in big moments. There was the special teams muffled punt that led us to score our only touchdown of the game, and that was by Mr. Brian Robinson. What a moment to have your first NFL touchdown. Big ups to him. Defensively, I thought we did all the right things as well. I mean, when you contain the Bears to score just 7 points, it should have been more than that. We had a chance. I mean, Chicago had a chance to win the game, but as you saw, that last play, we will get more into that as we recap the game. Marcus, what's going on? Cameron's going on. LOL. We thought they should have scored over 28 points. What's going on, Brody? Good to see you, Cameron. I'm gonna start on Washington's side of the ball. Defensively, I thought we did okay. It was a much needed win. The defense really did its job in the red zone. The Bears didn't get no further than the 5-yard line, and the first two of their first three other drives all came away with donuts. Coming into this game, we entered with the second worst turnover differential. I think it was like -7. And we had our second turnover when Jonathan Allen intercepted Justin Fields because it deflected off. I can't remember. I think it was Obada's helmet. That's what happened. I mean, there was second quarter. I know I've been kind of hard on the linebackers. Cole Holcomb, Montez Sweat, they did a really good job. Let the defense. There was one particular defensive stance where I think Khalil Herbert, they tried to go from a fourth down. Khalil Herbert had gotten the ball and he got stuffed. And then with that would have been the go-ahead game-winning drive for the Bears. Let's not forget Derek Forrest had a good defensive stop. But Darnell Mooney should have had that catch, and he just didn't have enough. So he is the reason. As you see the title of the video, no disrespect to him. Carson. Is now going to be out for a bit because he injured his hand. He's going to get surgery. I believe it's on his finger or his thumb. On top of my head. He's also dealing with a sore shoulder. He finished the game with 12 of 22 for 99 yards. And ironically, Carson Wentz did not commit a turnover, which I'm hoping that gives him some confidence because especially in the aftermath of those dumb comments by Ron Rivera, I feel like this is just a start. Now the reason why he's going to be out because he did jam his hand. I think it was, I can't remember who was, he hit his hand on, I think it might have been, I can't remember who, maybe Quinn or Justin Jones, one of those two. And he also had his ankle taped up. So, I mean, coming into this game, I mean, Carson was already battered. And our playmakers, McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, they really were no much help, especially when he gave them time, when he had time to throw the ball. There was a couple of drops Curtis Samuel had just in that final drive, the last drive before going in the second half. Because the second, especially the one where it should have been a 40-yard touchdown, but that's neither here nor there. Brian Robinson, I think going forward, Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson Jr., I think those are going to be the guys we're going to lean on a little bit more. I think McKissick, as much as he's a good running back, I just think those two are going to cancel him out. To earn your first start, especially at 7 weeks after getting shot twice and an attempt robbery, I'm just amazed at the progression that he has shown, from when it happened to now. And I a lot of people know that I just think that it's just what the wonders of what God can do. And I'm really proud of him, and I think Antonio Gibson, who basically came off the bench, he did have that spark run in the third quarter for 43 yards. There's a couple. He had an 18-yarder, 13-yarder, and that got the field goal. And then Brian Robinson, even though he had 7 carries for 19 yards, particularly in the first half, he finished with 17 for 60 and had the game winning, had the go-ahead touchdown for us. So I mean, you look at Washington, we did just enough. If I have to give flowers, I think the defense deserves it. It was a good. I'm not really saying it was a morale win. And especially if you want to keep your playoff hopes alive. And no, we got to prepare for Green Bay, because now that Carson's out, now Taylor Heineke will be out there starting. So I'm curious to see how he will look with these guys. I don't know what to expect, to be quite honest with you. For Chicago side, should have came away with more than just 7 points. I've been very vocal with the Bears. The Bears are just not a good team right now. I feel really, really bad for Justin Fields because he really, honestly, truthfully has nothing to work with. I mean, you could say David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, maybe, Darnell Mooney, but he has nothing at all. And last time I checked, this is a team game. You got to have some help. And that clearly did not show in that game against Washington. I'd say his best offensive lineman is Taylor Jenkins. Someone I wish Baltimore would have had, but it really, really, it just looks it looked one-sided. Like, I thought Justin was going to go out with it because he messed up his lower leg. I think it might have been his ankle. And then just to kind of just see like the body, especially on that last drive, I just think it's unfair I don't think it's fair to criticize him and saying he has to develop as a passer. He has to do these things. But I'm looking around him and I'm like, well, what does he have to truly work with? Like if he had pieces, when I mean pieces, I'm talking about guys that can be consistent. Like his name Jones Jr. and Pettis, those were really his 2 best receivers, besides, in the running game. But I like this year, I understand that the Bears are rebuilding, but I would have expected Darnell Mooney like this year to take Cole Kmet to take a step forward. And I just don't see that. And I'm kind of curious to know like where the direction of the Bears, where they're going. Because at this point, it's just not working. So a win's a win for Washington. It is a little disappointing that it occurred. And but I felt like Chicago should have won the game. That's just how I feel. Just knowing, because I'm watching the drive as it's progressing. I'm like, oh no, they're going to win the game. And then it happened. So we get ready for Green Bay. It looks like Robert Quinn will probably be traded at some point. There's some guys that have stepped up for Chicago on the defensive side of the ball. And I put this question of, because I read this somewhere. It was talking about how this year it gives, for the Chicago Bears, it gives 2004, 2005 vibes. And what do you think? Do you think that team with Lovie Smith, was at the time was the head coach, if I remember correctly, And this team this year, because who's on that? I want to say Rex Grossman had just maybe came into the league. Was Marcus Robinson on that team? I'm trying to remember who was on that offense, but I mean, I don't see the similarities. Well, y'all let me know. Do you see similarities from any Chicago Bear fans out there? Do you see similarities in the 04 team and this year? Let me know in the comments below. Matt Forte, Devin Hester, thank you. I'm trying to figure out who was on that team as well. Offensively, I know they still had Urlacher. I want to say Mike Brown was still on that team. Oh my gosh. Lance Briggs. I'm trying to figure out who else was on that team. But I think they finished the year, if I want to say correctly, I think they won 5 games that year. I want to say was something along those lines. But take the good and bad, the ugly with it. I do believe the Chicago Bears, they're building for the future. I just feel bad for Justin Fields. I do, because I just looking at his body language. I think he's patient. I think he knows the plan, but I don't think he was expecting something like this to occur, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, y'all let me know your thoughts, what you guys thought of the game, any takeaways that you saw for Washington and Chicago. What do you expect for us against Green Bay? Like I said, we're not going to have Carson in this game. I'm curious to see defensively how we match up with them in terms of their wide receivers. See how we match up with them, because we're not going to work for them. So, as my computer is having difficulties. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm having some technical difficulties on my end. My laptop just completely froze, but we're actually going to, let's see what we got here. Marcus. Field situation is bad, but I don't think it will change significantly next season. I agree. If Heineke loses these next 2 games, they should start Sam Howell. Possibility. I think what's going to happen I'm not ready yet for Sam Howell, because I don't want to throw him to the Wolves just yet, because he's just not ready, in my opinion. So, let's see. I'm going to take a game by game with Taylor Heineke. With Justin Fields' situation, they just need to just make sure they're putting the right pieces around Justin. If they do those things, they'll be okay. So yeah, we're actually going to go into our last topic of the podcast before we end it here.
Incoming message.
Yes, it is the final message. Again, as we're getting ready for the season, as we're getting ready for the end of the year, just continue, just take the opportunity to reflect, um, and also to do something fun. Thanksgiving's around the corner, Halloween's around the corner, Christmas. Um, just remember to do little things, take time for yourself. You do those little things, each day will be better. So that's my final message. But again, thank you for joining Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Again, I do apologize for the technical difficulties. Please like, comment, subscribe. Be tuned in for future episodes, ladies and gentlemen. Watch the Wizards preview. That'll be up probably tomorrow. That'll be a recorded episode, but be tuned in for that. In the meantime, please like, comment, subscribe. Again, I will have the other episodes uploaded the last, 6, 7 season episodes of season 10, and we'll be caught up with this. So until then, I will catch you guys on the flip side. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.
I'm not